Even my ice wall indifference didn't slow him. When I asked what the performance was for, Hawthorne said Hawthorne knew Hawthorne blown it and wanted to win me back. Hawthorne claimed the mistress had been a stand-in. She'd reminded him of the fragile girl I used to be. I almost laughed. Turns out Hawthorne didn't love the independent woman, only the girl who leaned on him and worshipped from below. That single accidental tear had apparently jump-started his protector complex. My determination to divorce only hardened. I packed and moved out. Starting a self-imposed separation, Hawthorne trailed me like a stray dog. I warned him, keep stalking and I'd head straight to court. That deflated him. Finally, Hawthorne backed off. 2 days before New Year's Eve, Jordan called, inviting Jason and me back for the holiday. Lily, you're not swamped this year, are you? It's been ages. Come home and taste my dumplings. Her health had declined. The voice that once rang with authority now sounded thin, but the warmth was intact. Jason ran next, voice low, asking whether I was going. Hawthorne tossed the ball to me because Hawthorne knew I wanted to see Jordan, just not with him. Then Hawthorne played the empathy card. Jordan's heart was weak. Learning about the divorce would devastate her. Let's spare her worry for one holiday. Just act the part, okay? Thinking of her stooped back and the way her eyes lit up whenever I stepped through the door, I caved and thought we pulled up to find Jordan already waiting outside. I sent Jason to the trunk for the gifts and hurried to support her. Jordan, it's freezing. Wait inside next time. Her rough hand, chilled by the wind, patted mine. I don't mind. I've been counting the days. Jordan had kneaded the dough and mixed the filling. We rolled up our sleeves and washed our hands the moment we entered. As kids, we'd helped, churning out shapeless lumps. She praised sky high, convincing us we were prodigy chefs. Jason rolled the wrappers while Jordan and I filled them, and we finished the whole mountain of dumplings in no time. At dusk, we set a pot of water to boil, slid the dumplings in, and soon steam was drifting through the kitchen. Over dinner, Jordan asked how we'd been. Jason complained that we'd been fighting lately and viewed that Hawthorne was still trying to coax me back into a good mood. Hawthorne seized that chance to grab my hand. I instinctively tried to pull away, but Hawthorne squeezed tighter. A warning flickered in his eyes, so I gave up the struggle and forced a smile. Hawthorne never warned me Hawthorne would start getting handsy. I hadn't touched him in so long that the feel of his skin already felt foreign. That night, Jordan and I lay in the same bed. Since I was little, I'd loved clinging to her. And even now, I still lean on her. She took my hand without a word, yet I felt the comfort pouring from her palm. Our Lily was always wonderful, ever since she was small. Her voice carried the gravel of age, but still held its old power to soothe. You used to run to me whenever you felt wronged. Now that you're grown, you carry everything alone. Mom sees it all. She stroked my hair the way you calm a child. I felt myself slipping back to the days when I could burrow into her arms without shame. I thought I'd forged iron walls around my heart, but in front of her every plate of armor melted. Tears escaped before I could stop them. She cupped my face and wiped them away bit by bit. The moment you two walked through the door, I sensed something was off. Don't worry about me. Do what you have to do. Mom will always back you. I nodded, buried my face in her chest, and finally let myself sob like a lost child. After all these years, I was somebody's little girl again. Early the next morning, Jason knocked. Hawthorne said Hawthorne wanted to take me somewhere. On New Year's Day, every house was setting off firecrackers. The pops crackled up and down the street. The road was laced with frost, and the snow that had fallen days earlier had hardened into slick ridges. Walking felt like skating. I followed him, the route growing familiar, until we rounded the back of the old house. We leaned against the wall. In front of us stretched a wheat field, our secret childhood fort. Hawthorne traced the blurred graffiti we'd carved ages ago. Remember how we used to dream out loud here, promising we'd stick together forever? I stared at the weather-beaten letters and nodded. And you wanted to be a doctor. There had been 3 of us back then, best friends until the 3rd kid fell ill, couldn't afford treatment, and died in a hospital bed. After that, Jason changed. Hawthorne once sworn to heal people. Afterward, Hawthorne only talked about making mountains of money. Hawthorne said Hawthorne was terrified that one day Hawthorne, too, would lie dying because Hawthorne was broke. So Hawthorne chased money, chased startups, and in the end lost himself inside the pile of cash Hawthorne built. Lily, can we start over? Hawthorne searched my face. We've come through so much. You were there at my darkest hour. I don't want to lose you. The tip of my nose stung from the cold, and I tucked it deeper into my scarf. When I turned, I saw earnest pleading in his eyes. I had indeed stood beside him through the worst. After college, I'd landed a solid job with a good salary while Hawthorne gambled on founding a company and failed again and again. Hawthorne couldn't sleep at night. I didn't dare sleep either. Afraid Hawthorne'd do something reckless, one night exhaustion finally knocked me out, but I jolted awake to find his side of the bed empty. I threw a coat over my pajamas and ran out barefoot, shouting his name, dialing his number over and over. It was winter then too, my hands numbed until I could hardly hold the phone. But I kept searching. At last I spotted him on the frozen riverbank. Hawthorne was wearing a padded jacket, stepping onto the ice. Some spots were still thin, one cracked, and Hawthorne plunged in without even flinching. I rushed forward screaming, trying to drag him out, and fell through myself. The water was so cold it stabbed like needles. Only when Hawthorne saw me did Hawthorne snap back to life. Hawthorne clawed onto the solid edge, hauled me out, but by then I'd lost all feeling. Ever since, my health has been fragile, and the doctors said the odds of my carrying a child are slim. I pulled the scarf until only my eyes showed. His bare hands were already red from the chill. Then have a little pity and let me go. Why you don't love me anymore, so why keep me tied to you? Once I'm gone, you can play any game you like. No one will block your fun. I won't nag you to come home early, won't scold you for drinking too much. Just like the faded graffiti, we're no longer the people we once were. I could read his mind, stir up nostalgia, play the history card, and win me back. I met his gaze without blinking. Jason, you know me once I decide, I never turn around. I don't regret swallowing life's bitterness with you, but I refuse to go on swallowing the bitterness of this marriage. I'll finish the projects I'm holding at Hawthorne. I'm not chasing novelty, and I'm not hunting for some younger copy of you. When love is dead, I won't crawl after it. You know I can't stand a single grain of sand. Rarely did his eyes redden, and his voice came out hoarse. Lily, there's really no room to turn. I shook my head. I left him with one last piece of advice. For old time's sake, stay away from those his. You could still lose everything one day, and all these years of grind will have been for nothing. Only recently one of that crowd was caught with narcotics. Jason must have heard. Only Hawthorne didn't care. Hawthorne even helped bury the story. Hawthorne hadn't started out like this, but after years of breathing their air, Hawthorne chain-smoked, binged on whiskey, and came to think cheating was normal. If I hadn't forced the divorce, Hawthorne probably would have died believing Hawthorne done nothing wrong. Sometimes the old saying is terrifyingly true: birds of a feather flock together. I'm terrified Hawthorne will end up hooked on narcotics too. That would be the point of no return. When we returned that afternoon, Hawthorne signed the divorce papers. Hawthorne suggested I move back into the house we'd shared while Hawthorne relocated, but I refused. Every corner of that place made me sick. The moment the City Hall Marriage Bureau reopened after the holiday, we filed for our divorce certificate. The instant the clerk stamped it and we walked out, I felt a weight slide off my shoulders. I bought myself a cake to make up for the birthday I'd skipped, a private celebration of freedom. I stuck a single sparkler on top, lit it, closed my eyes, and made a wish. Peace from now on. And for Jordan to stay healthy. My good days lasted only a handful of nights before his call came. Hawthorne was drunk, words slurred, repeating my name over and over. Lily, Lily. Someone else took the phone. A sober voice came on, swaggering, ingratiating. Sis, brother Jason's wasted and won't shut up about seeing you. Could you maybe come pick him up? I answered, ice in my voice. We're divorced. Don't call me again. I hung up immediately, honestly surprised Jason was binge drinking himself into a stupor. The next morning, sober, Hawthorne texted an apology. Sorry for bothering you. When I'm drunk, I really can't control myself. I snorted. Blocked him on the spot. Who knew if it was another act, probably one of his cronies feeding him. Lines. My suspicion was confirmed over the next month. Hawthorne kept popping up wherever I was, reminding me Hawthorne existed. I didn't get it until a Hawthorne manager clued me in. Another nightmare project had landed. And no one could handle it. And Hawthorne wanted me back. Finally, I'd had enough. I marched into his office and slammed my palm on his desk. Jason, are you ever going to stop? You agreed to the divorce. What the hell is this? Hawthorne frowned slightly. I left the door open. My voice carried into the hallway. Hawthorne got up. Shut it, then turned and pushed a chair toward me. Calm down. I really didn't mean to upset you. Hawthorne sat opposite me, pretending innocence. Hawthorne even smiled. Maybe deep down I don't want to be apart. I keep reaching for you without thinking. I gave a cold laugh. Jason, do I look 3 years old to you? I know exactly what you're after. And I'm not touching that project if you keep sniffing around me. Don't blame me for airing your cheating to every outlet that'll listen. His face darkened. Lily, do you have to be this ruthless? Hawthorne lived for his reputation. Scandal was the one thing Hawthorne couldn't stomach. Then stop clinging like stink on garbage. You're nauseating. I walked out, spine straight. Heels clicking. That office showdown worked. Hawthorne never contacted me again. On Saturday, I took Sophie out. I ordered her favorite dessert. She ate tiny bites, stealing glances at me between spoonfuls. What's up? Ask. She hesitated, then whispered, Big sister, you're divorced, right? I nodded. Sipping my coffee, she exhaled. Relief flooding her young face. She hadn't learned to mask emotion yet. I asked gently, did Jason do something to make you hate him? Don't hide it. I'll make him pay. She bit her lip and shook her head, refusing. My stomach sank. Hawthorne hurt her. Now that I knew, I couldn't let it slide. I pressed, Sophie, don't keep secrets from me. Under my steady stare she caved, voice barely audible. Hawthorne tried to keep me. What? Shock hit first, then fury. I smacked the table. She flinched. I said no. I knew it was wrong. Eyes red, she continued. Hawthorne threatened me, told me not to tell you. I studied the thin scar on her neck. That mark Hawthorne did it, she nodded. I cursed him. Hawthorne lost it. We struggled and the necklace scratched me. I hadn't imagined Jason could be that depraved. No. Wonder Hawthorne been eager to see Sophie yet always too busy to visit mountain villages for charity drives? My fists clenched so hard they shook. I wanted to storm over and slap him blind. How could Hawthorne lay hands on a kid like her? If Hawthorne succeeded, I didn't want to picture the wreckage. Sophie, top-tier university. Brilliant major, a future like sunrise crushed into depression and fear. I ground my teeth. Forcing the rage down, Jason, how dare Hawthorne? All these years Hawthorne worn a saint's mask, but the beast had been there all along. Give me solid proof and I'd bury him. My phone chimed another email. I opened it, my mood curdled. Jason's ex-mistress, gloating again, had sent a selfie with him. They were in a VIP lounge, bottles everywhere, smoke thick enough to choke on. Jason's hand roamed her hip. She simpered at the lens. Also in the shot were his, each cuddling a girl. I swore under my breath, what a circus. Then it hit me, evidence, gift trapped. I dialed 911 and reported them all. Sophie stared. Stunned by the seamless takedown, I smiled. Watch me avenge you. Results came fast. Narcotics were found on site. No wonder their eyes looked glazed. I chalked it up to booze Jason hadn't used, but Hawthorne couldn't bury the story. It hit primetime news. Hawthorne loves throwing money at problems. I'd make this one too expensive. Reputation is everything to him. The broadcast enraged him. Staff said Hawthorne hurled crystal tumblers at his office wall. The mistress vanished. Her moment of bravado gave me the opening, and the others turned on her in a heartbeat. They couldn't touch me, but they could shred her. Without me, Hawthorne stalled. New hires took one look at the headlines and walked. Hawthorne confronted me, demanding to know if I'd called the cops. Bad move. I slapped him so hard the crack echoed. Before Hawthorne recovered, I landed a second, savoring the sting. I admitted it, loud and clear, called him sewer trash. Hawthorne slunk away. We haven't spoken since, and I rarely hear his name. Occasionally, at galas, I spot him cornered alone, nursing warm champagne. Hawthorne still passes out glossy cards. People smile politely, then drop them in the trash the instant Hawthorne turns. The next time we stood in the same room was Jordan's funeral. Hawthorne murmured, "I'm sorry." I stared straight ahead at Jordan's gentle photo and gave no reply. Hawthorne will never earn forgiveness, not from Sophie, not from me. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this story? If you liked the video, please hit like and share it with friends. We'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.